Hey, bro, how are you, man?
Good. Yourself?
Very good. It's sad that it's kind of that we have to cut the thing short today.
Yeah, there's so much anticipation once you get to the quarterfinals. There's two ways to look at it. You're like, okay, it's a little slow right now. If we get more consistency for finals day, that's always what we're looking forward to. So hopefully we'll have some great waves to crown the champs.
When you think of Sunset Beach, what goes historically? What goes through your mind?
Wow, it's one of the longest running events in the world. When you think about the sport of surfing, the Duke event happened out here in 1965.
Whoa.
And that event has kind of molded over the years into one-off world championships, into a staple on the championship tour. It was a stressful qualifier for about a decade for the men. But right now it's a part of the world title race, and it makes a lot of sense how challenging this wave is, and when it's big, it's one of the most sensational things to watch.
No doubt. What's so different about Sunset Beach versus the other locations on the tour?
Yeah, Sunset really stands alone. This is actually more often than not like a big wave sparring ground for a lot of big wave surfers, because you get a lot of big open ocean swells with a lot of power. It's not for the faint of heart on those really big days. You have to be a waterman or a waterwoman, be able to survive what can be a pretty unruly ocean. And also it has the odd moments where it can open wide and give you a barrel, but it's not automatic. You have to be really solid with your instincts out here, and usually the most experienced surfers, get the job done and get the wins. But it's the challenge of it, tackling a gigantic playing field really makes it stand out among the other events on tour.
As a host, and every time you're at an event, what surprises you? Like, what's surprising you this year?
Pardon me?
Like, what's surprising you as a host? You're a host, and like, what's surprising you when you're seeing it this year?
Yeah, the new surprises always start with the new faces on tour. You have the new rookies that haven't proven themselves yet, and you have so many question marks on how they're going to succeed. And even first, second year surfers on tour, you look at a Molly Picklum on the women's side, her confidence is blowing me away. How young she is, but how she knows she belongs. That's really exciting to watch. Comeback story for Joao Chianca, how he's just meant for world-class waves after falling off the tour. He's showing what he's capable of. So there's always a lot of cool surprises when it comes to the surfers on tour and what they can bring to the top stage.
You know what I like the last 20 years is the internationalism of it. We got like Brazil, France, Italian, all these, Australia. Now it's so international. I think that's even tougher than ever.
Gosh, and that just speaks to the global nature of the sport. It's not, when you actually talk about world title, that's real.
Right.
It includes the globe, and especially those rising surfing nations that you speak of in Europe. Like, we've got a guy from Rome, Italy, who's number 2 in the world. I mean,
isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
It's just like, wait, he's from Rome?
Yeah.
What?
And he's obviously really well traveled to make his mark in surfing, but there's a lot of cool regions, even like Indonesia, where you might be surprised that we actually have our first full-time surfer from Indonesia on tour, even though it is already known as Surfer's Paradise. To get to someone to finally qualify, that's brand new, and we're enjoying that story for Rio Wida this year.
Here's a weird question, like, 'cause I almost died surfing in Siargao.
Oh no.
Right? Yeah. So what are some dangerous locations you've been to that are like kind of like,
Yeah, geez, I mean, we're standing at one of them.
Right.
And even we started off the season at Pipeline. You have the wave in Tahiti, Te Hupo'o at the end of the road. Those are just clearly dangerous. Even big waves at Maindrake Margaret River are very, very challenging and scary, and not for the faint of heart on those big days. But it's a different story when you call yourself the best in the world. For them, they not only have to be ready for it physically, but also mentally as well, to manage that fear and turn it into great performance. And that's why they're the pros on tour, and maybe on those days we just get to watch.
Right. But that's the one thing I'm trying to get to this question, is like, you forget how dangerous this is. You forget, like, this is like, you could be one hit, something away from being really hurt.
Yeah, that's definitely something that should cross everyone's mind. For people coming to the ocean, it's unpredictable. The power of Mother Nature is always to be respected, even on days that may not look that scary. There's currents, there's a shallow reef that you always need to pay attention to. And for the best in the world, they train to be prepared for whatever the ocean delivers to them. And even them, sometimes their stories, I'll never forget, Jordy Smith said the scariest moment of his life in the ocean was in a heat in Tahiti, where he's standing on the reef and looking at one of the biggest waves he's ever seen land right on top of him. And to be able to manage that fear and be able to stay calm in those moments is what the guys that are on tour do the best.
And this is why Joe's on TV. Your answers are exquisite, man.
Thanks for having me. This is a lot of fun. I could talk about surfing all day.
I know, me too. So then, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Good talking to you, and thank you, and we'll see you around.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Nice
Good
to meet
talking
you guys.
Thank you.